Tom Petty was right. The waiting is the hardest part. Today on the channel, the 17-month wait is over. We've got the Haslab Sentinels. Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another Marvel Legends unboxing and review. And today we've got something magical. We've got a magical one. After 17 long months, Kyle, the last person in the universe, finally gets his Sentinels. All three of them, as you can see behind me. But remember, for all your Marvel Legends needs, except the Sentinel, hit up Big Bad Toy Store. Link in the description below. And we're going to do this unboxing, or at least we're going to try to do it like all the other unboxings on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We'll see where it goes from there. But like I said, 17 months. I have to be one of the last people to get their Sentinels. I don't know what the heck the deal was. I am going to have another video on the channel kind of documenting my Sentinel journey, how we got to this point. So check that one out. Kind of A and B video, I guess they kind of go together. So I'll cheap plug that. Cheap plug my channel. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, all that kind of fun stuff everybody else tells you to do. But I guess we'll start with the packaging first. We're going to look at the packaging. I got this one right here we'll use. There it is. Big box, as you guys can imagine. It's a big figure. It's the Sentinel. It's the largest Marvel Legends figure of all time. And at the end of the video, we'll do some comparisons to some other very big figures throughout time. So stay tuned for that, of course. But on the package here, you can see, kind of see, boy, it's tough. It's tough to get it all in the frame here. But you got that big old Sentinel. Absolutely beautiful artwork on this box. I am glad they went the route of giving us artwork on the box, as we've seen with some of the other big items. How about NECA Cartoon Ninja Turtles, the diorama? We thought we'd get a cool box. All we got was plain cardboard. They could have done that. I am glad they did not do that. Beautiful artwork right here. This is artwork in itself. Awfully big box, not a lot of room for storage of this. This is going back in the shipping container and going to go in the garage for me, up in the attic. Up in the old attic is where I'm going to put it. But you got the X-Men logo here. You got that Krakoan language. You got Marvel Legends over there. You got the Haslab, and of course, this was a Haslab item. On the side, more beautiful artwork. We got Sentinels kind of flying up in the air, looking only like they could look, as some might say there. And then on this side, there's old Bastion, the Sentinel, and we'll get to him. We just didn't get the big robot with this. We did get action figures. We did get accessories. We'll break all those down. We'll go through all those as well. But you got Bastion. You got Wolverine, looking only like a Wolverine could look. And then you got another Sentinel. Very cool. Krakoan language again, once again. And then on the side, you got another one. A lot of this, there it is. Maybe. There we go. So we got some more X-Men action on the side here. You got Professor X, you got the Tri-Sentinel, and then you've got Magneto up top there. On the top, you just got the X logo. On the bottom, nothing but warnings. UPCs? Yep, there's even a UPC on there, so there you go. So there it is. There is the box. Big, it's like a, I don't know, a kid's mattress. The size of a kid's mattress, we'll call it. And I'm going to give it the old, see you later. Off to the side, sticks the landing. How about that? What a day to be alive. Stuck the landing. All right, so before we get into the Sentinel, let's look at the figure first. Bastion. Sentinel, Bastion, right here. This was one of the, not of a tier unlock. This came with the Sentinel. A very good add-in here. Very plain Jane figure a little bit. I mean, he's got the purple going on at the top with the red in the chest. Got the mechanical but kind of old man gray hair going on with the red eyes. Cool goatee here, like a young Jim the Anvil Neidhart is what he reminds me of. But very black, very plain. It is a plain Jane figure. But it is really cool. You do get an extra Sentinel head with him. So in my case, I got 3 Sentinels. So now I have 3 of these bodies. One will, of course, be like this. Then I have 3 of these heads. Well, 2 of the other bodies will wear these heads. And then what I've decided to do is, I brought that Professor X figure we got earlier this year that goes along with this set. I'm going to pop that head off, and I'm going to use his body for another one of these heads. So that is my plan right there. But a very similar body. We've seen this body mold a million times. Nothing too special with this Bastion figure. But I do like it. I think it's a cool add-in. And that was one of the coolest things about this Sentinel. We kept getting tiers unlocked, tiers backed. It was very cool. I enjoyed all of that. So that was a good part of the Sentinel Haslab campaign. getting something like this. Something you didn't have to have. They could have easily sold this on their own, but they did throw it in with the Sentinel. So there is Bastion. That was Tier 1 with his extra head. But that wasn't even Tier 1. That was included with the whole Hasbro package. We did get instructions here. I should say we got all these warnings and stuff that nobody really cares about. Then you got instructions as the Sentinel does take batteries, 2 AAA batteries inside. And you kind of got a button there, it pushes and light up, and we'll go through all that here shortly. So that's some of the pack-in stuff. I guess we might as well jump into it. Let's bring the Sentinel in here, and then we'll go through the tiers, we'll go through all the features, all that kind of fun stuff. So let's do it. Let's take a look at the Sentinel. All right, here we are. Sentinel Mania officially begins. The Sentinel is out of the package here. It is boxed in perfectly. Nice styrofoam, everything individually wrapped. Just a beautiful package inside. Extra protection on these wrapped in things. Gotta love the care because this is an expensive figure. You gotta put care into the packaging with this, and Marvel Legends, the Hasbro team, of course, did a great job on that. So we gotta give kudos on that one. But here he is, the Sentinel, looking like a giant, looking only like he could look, as one might say out there. But it is a Sentinel. You see this, you know this. If you're familiar with X-Men, if you're familiar with Marvel Comics, you know exactly what this is the minute you lay eyes on it. It is a Sentinel, and it's the biggest Sentinel we've ever had. And I go back to the days, the old Toy Biz Sentinel. I had that. I had about 5 of those back in the day. I loved them. They were on clearance at KB way back. I army built them with my old Toy Biz X-Men. Then we went to the Build-A-Figure Toy Biz days of the Sentinel. I did not have that one. I was not a Toy Biz fan of the Marvel Legends, unfortunately, so I didn't have that one. But then we did get a later one released a couple of different times, and I did have 2 of those. I will have 2 of those, and I'll explain a little bit about those a little bit later, what my future plan is with those. But here is the Sentinel. Here he is looking only like he can look, as I said. Beautiful purple design coloring on him. Just really a lot to like. And let's start with the articulation first. Now, we got the hand, of course. And I love this big hand, like a Sentinel should have, a big hand. He's got 5 fingers going on. Is a thumb a finger? I don't know. You tell me, but you know what I mean. But he has ratchets, and he has articulation on the fingers. So you've got 1, 2, 3 spots of articulation with the ratchet joint on the finger. So you can manipulate him, you can do whatever. You can have him flipping the bird to your mailman if you want to. You can do a whole lot. Or I guess FedEx in this case. FedEx, the bane of my existence, getting these. That's a story for the other video, I guess we'll say. But nice articulation on these hands. Then you get to the wrist here. He moves all the ways you can imagine a figure would move of a much smaller scale and even in this bigger scale. So you've got all kinds of articulation, all kinds of movement at the wrist here. And then what I really do like is the ball on the wrist has yellow wires, has gray, silver, very mechanical looking. Brings it all together, brings it like it's connecting. Instead of just being plain black or something like that, extra care, extra articulation, but extra looks to it. I love that. I love that. Then you get up to the forearms, and we got that beautiful purple. We got a little forearm guard thing here that moves. Got a little bit of articulation, so if you want to move your hand out, it flexes with it, just making it seamless. Making it seamless there. I like that a lot. Then you got the purple with some silver accents of some bolts and things like that. Looks really cool. Elbow-wise, we've got double jointed elbows on this big of a figure, which is great. Love that. You got a little mechanical spots here and there all over the place. Makes it really feel mechanical throughout. There's no spot here where I look at it and I say, oh, it takes away from the mechanicalness, the robotness of the Sentinel. It all seems to go together, which, hey, that's the way it should be. Then you get to the shoulder guards here. A lot like other figures we've seen, it moves with the arms. You move the arms, it moves. It can move with it. Same thing as I said about the wrist. You got that same thing on the shoulder right there. It's all mechanical looking. It's a big ball. Very cool looking there. Then we look at the chest here. You can see the big, I always call it like the Sentinel eye right there, but it does light up. You hold this button and you're in business. There's all kinds of different modes it can go through. As you can see, the lights light up as well. Just very cool feature. I wish this talked. That was one thing I did like about the prior Sentinel we got from Marvel Legends. It did have voice capabilities. I wish they would have put that into here. That is only one of the misses for me with this one. I just think that was a neat feature, just to be able to talk and mutants and stuff. Lemmy hates the Sentinels. My dog Lemmy, star of the channel, some may say, he hates those old Sentinels, and he absolutely hates the Sentinel. He won't even be in this room with the Sentinel, so that is pretty funny. I've had this out, and I took it out, and he ran upstairs. I brought it upstairs. He ran into his kennel. He wants nothing to do with these Sentinels, which leads me to believe, at the end of the day, my dog Lemmy is a mutant. Yes, a mutant. Hopefully his powers come out soon. I would like to take advantage of those. More to come on that. Stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, all that kind of fun stuff. But the chest is cool. You can see the wiring through here. It looks like mechanical wiring, and I'm going to keep saying that throughout because it has it throughout. The waist is really cool here with all the wires, like the yellow, the blue, the silver, the purple, all going together, really feeling like this is a massive, big robot. Then let's take a look at the head, I guess. The head moves all over the place. It's on a nice big ball up there. You got all kinds of articulation with it. Not a ton of up and down, but side to side, you're all over the place with it. So we do like that. The neck, once again, has that silver, the wire kind of look to it, the mechanical look to it. Same with the mouth. I mean, it just looks like a Sentinel. That's exactly what it looks like. They nailed it. I absolutely love the looks of this one. And then I guess that talks, since we're talking heads, we might as well look into some of these other things. As we all know, Tier 1 for the Haslab backing. It was funny, a lot of people didn't like Tier 1. I remember a lot of people took a step back and said, oh, I don't like this, I don't want it. I love this. And Tier 1 was an extra head of Master Mold. Yes, Master Mold. Kind of the prime King Sentinel, I guess we'll call him out there. But I feel like you need this one, especially if you're getting multiple Sentinels. That is part of the fun with these Sentinels. For me, buying 3, I can customize with the parts here to really make them all feel different. So it feels like I have 3 different figures in a way. I love that idea. I think that was good of them. It helped Hasbro make more money because people were army building. If they were all the same thing, with none of these extra heads and things like that, there wouldn't be as many people multiple buying Sentinels. But with this, I said, oh, I need 3. There's no way around it. I need 3 of these. I will say this Master Mold head, extremely heavy compared to the other heads here, and it should be. He is the Kingpin Sentinel. And my plan, my long plan is I will have a chair for Master Mold to sit in, of course, and then I'll put this head on one of the Sentinels, but then I'll use my old Toy Biz Sentinels to put next to him side by side, and it kind of looks like, you know, Master Mold was the big Sentinel. So that is my plan with that one there. I haven't tried to pop the head off of this guy yet. We'll see if I can do this. I don't know how hard it's going to be to do. Oh, not too hard. It's just like a normal Marvel Legend. You pop it off, pull it off, all kinds of fun stuff there. And then you probably just push it in. Yep, so it's just like any other Marvel Legends figure doing a head swap on, but you can kind of see Master Mold right there. A little bigger head, the light shining through the eyes, looking a little bit different than the other Sentinels. I think that is cool. Very awesome look to that Tri-Sentinel. Sentinel head on Master Mold. Very more, I don't know, this feels more robot-esque. They both feel robot-esque in the head, but this one feels a little bit more robot, and maybe that's just because we know the Sentinels, but it feels more robot army, where this feels like leader robot. And I think that is because we just know the head more. But very cool. I love Master Mold. I love this. Pop that bad boy right off. And then you can see right here, you got the ball joint going on. Then you can see that's where the lights go through and everything. You got to make sure this is lined up so the light goes through the eyes and all that kind of fun stuff there. We do get a big ab crunch with the Sentinel here. You can see that going on. Not tons and tons of movement. I mean, it's a robot. He's not Spider-Man, but you do get good articulation there at the waist. And then you got the top that turns. Oh, it's a little tough to turn. It is heavy duty, but he does turn up there as well. So we like that. Then we get down to the waist. We get the, you know, silver. I don't know my colors. Purple crotch piece here. Then you get the joint wires again, once again, like we saw at the shoulders. We saw at the elbows. You see that there in the thighs and the hips. And then you get to the mechanicalness down below. Now, we all know, you know, we've all been around this Sentinel. We've seen other people's reviews. You've seen everything under the sun, I'm sure, at this point about this Sentinel. One thing that is known about it is it has weak knees. You can apparently take these caps off. You can tighten them up. But I got to say, mine right here does not have weak knee joints. It's not falling over, any of those issues. I know not everybody had that problem. Some had it worse than others. So I don't know. With me being last, maybe they fixed some of it. I don't know what the case is. But it's very easy fix. The Foosh did a video on it, I believe, is who first found that out. But these caps and the knees take off, you just put the screwdriver to it and away you go. So if you do have that problem, that is the fix. But right now, mine, I'm in pretty good shape. So I do like that. I don't have to fix it, at least for right now. So there you go. But then you get down to the foot and you got the same ankle. You got the elbows, the knees. Let me learn anatomy here. You got the knees, the double jointed knees. Then, of course, the ankles do move. Very heavy. I mean, it takes a lot to move him, a lot more than your typical Marvel Legends, but it should because it's such a big figure. But I just love this thing. I've been a Sentinel fan since probably the late 80s, and then the X-Men animated series came along. Just really took my love of the Sentinels to the next level. Like I said, I army build those old Toy Biz ones back in the day. So I love a Sentinel. I'm so happy to have this bad boy. Just very, very cool. Lots of playability, lots of fun, and I should say too, one of the things we did get with this is these bendy wires, the tentacles from the Sentinels. As we all know, the Sentinels would reach out with their tentacles and pick up mutants and stuff like that, and that's exactly what we have right here. So what you do is there's a hole right in the center of his palm. It looks like it's a beam would come out of there or whatever. You can plug this in or you can leave it off, depending how you want to do it. But it does plug in right there. You do have to work it in a little bit. It's a little harder to go in than I thought it would be. But that's okay. That means it's a tight fit in there. But you can do all kinds of stuff. So you can bend this wire any which way you want to. Turns, twists, whatever. So very cool there. You can grab Wolverine. Here's Wolverine for some scaling. Wolverine's about the size of his head. But you can put Wolverine in the wire. The tentacle, I guess I should call it. Should be official, shouldn't I? And then he can just stick right in there. So choose your own adventure, display it how you want, but that is a neat feature. That is a must-have on a Sentinel. If you remember back to the old days, the old Toy Biz one, it had the rope that came out with the attachment. I always loved that. I always had guys stuck up in there. So that is very cool. I wanted to point that out with these tentacles. And then, like I said, they pull right out, just a little twisting. And you do get 2 of them with each Sentinel, so that is awesome. Awesome, that's what I'm going to say. So there's that, and then we get into Tier 2. What did we get for Tier 2? More parts, and you can move them around. Tier 2 was battle damage stuff, and once again, people groaned a little bit, but I do like this. Sentinels, part of the fun with the Sentinels is they're robots. They can be killed, they can be destroyed, and that you need that in cartoons, you need that in animation, because you can't have main characters dying all the time. But Sentinels, they're a dime a dozen in a way. And one thing we always saw in video games, we saw in the animated series, things like that, battle damage Sentinels. So we get this hand here that with the broken off fingers, we got one finger here, you got the thumb, and then you got this. It can plug in, so you can have a battle damage Sentinel. And then the same thing with the head. Pops off the same, everything else. But you have a battle damage Sentinel head, which is really cool. I think this is a neat feature. And then the other cool thing is, let's say you only bought 1 Sentinel. I just got 1. That's fine. You use whatever you want. You can use this in your display as a diorama piece. You could have this sitting here, and you could have Wolverine up on top of this thing, you know, like part of your display. Like he just took this Sentinel down. So I do love that playability feature too. So it really is, you could do whatever you want with some of these pieces. Put them on the Sentinel, put them to the side, put them as part of a diorama. Have a little wasteland of Sentinels going on there. So you can do that. I think that is very cool. And then Tier 3, we got the female Prime Sentinel, which was a pretty cool build in here on the Tier 3, I thought. Another figure. I love getting extra figures, and it felt like it was a free figure. That was part of the fun of this Haslab project was, you know, it funds, but then you get all these other things for free in a way. And a lot of people funded saying there's going to be good tiers. We're seeing that right now with the Rancor. I've watched my weekly purchases video, watched some of that. The Air Striker, the Rancor right now, currently as we're filming this, is up for the Haslab projects. Man, things are looking south for both of those, unfortunately, especially that Rancor where it's losing backers. It really is the opposite of the Sentinel, or opposite of the Galactus is what we've seen, unfortunately. And we always say it on the channel, vote with your wallet. The customers, the consumers, they vote with their wallet, and they're voting that the Rancor is not for them. And I think they had a lot of missteps and mishaps that we didn't see with the Sentinel. We really didn't see with the Galactus, I didn't feel. We did see missteps with the Mattel ring that was backed earlier this year, and now we're seeing some missteps with the Rancor, and the Air Striker somewhere in the middle, I think. But we did get this Prime Sentinel, and it's just a traditional female body. Very plain Jane, much like Bastion, who we showed a little bit earlier. Just plain. It's a female robot head, but cool enough. The head is removable, so you can, if you really wanted to, you could put this robot Sentinel head on here. I mean, nobody's stopping you. It looks a little funny. We'll get some glamour shots of it. It looks a little strange, but I'm here for it. You can choose your own adventure. That's one of the mottos of the channel. Do whatever you want. But it's cool to get another female Sentinel. You could build out that universe. You could build out. You got Nimrod. You got old Sentinels. You got a lot of things. The Tri-Sentinel, of course. I mean, we can do all that kind of fun stuff. So that is cool. And speaking of the Tri-Sentinel, that was the final tier unlocked. This is probably my least favorite of the heads. Just call spade a spade. But the 3 heads we got, I think I'm going to put 1 on each. I don't know. I got to figure it out. I got to figure my display out. My display tour coming early 2022, so be on the lookout for that. That's one reason to subscribe. That's always a fun video. Where am I going to display these? How am I going to display these? You got to stay tuned right there. But the Tri-Sentinel head, you got 3 heads. You got a silver one, more gold one, and gold one with different mouth things going on. Not setting my world on fire, but it really felt free. This was the last tier. I didn't think we were going to get a tier 4, and we did. So I'm not complaining by any means of that one. This is another big head, but not quite the size of the Master Mold. And we'll have glamour shots throughout this video of those. But very cool pack-ins. I just loved everything about this whole Haslab campaign. I know about any campaign out there, there's always complaints, but I really do feel they nailed this one out of the park, especially with the bonus items and stuff like that. And I would love to see down the road maybe a Hasbro Pulse exclusive. Don't make it Haslab, or do, but one way or the other. Let's make an accessory pack for Sentinels. Let's keep adding to our Sentinels. Let's add new parts, new heads, new things. I think that would be something down the road that a lot of fans would appreciate, and I think they could get some easy sales at it, because there's a lot of these Sentinels floating around out there. As you all know, a lot of people back these to sell. I think they were $300 and some. It's been 17 months since I got them. I can't remember what I paid for it, but I think it was $300 a piece. Now they're around, $600, $700, $800 possibly at this point. They will be rising. I think if you're in the market to buy one of these in the aftermarket, now is probably your best bet. As we all know, there's new collectors joining every single day that missed out on this, that will want this, and I do think as the years go by, this is going to be a very, very pricey item. I could see this selling well over $1,000 here in a couple of years. So if you can and you have extras, maybe play a little bit of that long game, sell it in a couple of years, and you'll get more than your money back. You might triple or quadruple your money back on this one, which is pretty cool. I don't like to say collectibles are a big investment, but things like this, the Cantina Barge, those are investments. After all is said and done, time passes, you can make some money on these. So that is another thing why I know some people bought these, and some people bought the Mattel rings and stuff like that, and some people back to Rancor, etc. There's always that possibility out there. But man, I absolutely love this thing. I don't know, I'd like to say it met my expectations. I'd say it met my expectations. I was over the moon, especially when they said in like late August that September 1 they're going to start leaving. Man, I was ramped up. I was amped up. I was so excited to get my Sentinels. Well, then September went by. Then October went by. And I got to say, a little piece of me died every single day. I was just truly disappointed out there. I was like, why is this taking so long? I think I backed it the second week the Sentinels were allowed to be backed. People that backed it the last day had them, and I hadn't. So I don't know if it's just the luck of the draw or what, but I got to say that I felt a little deflated after every single day in October all the way through November. But I'm happy to finally have it here. I'm just glad it's not lost, because I've heard horror stories out there where people, they lost their Sentinel, or their Sentinel came broke and they said, hey, we'll refund you, but there's no more Sentinels to give you. I was so worried that I was going to have that issue. Thankfully, I did not. I got all three of my Sentinels. I'll unbox all three. I'll have them here together. But now, how about we turn our attention a little bit. We got the Sentinel out of the way. We've taken a look about it. We've talked about it. Now let's compare him to some other big figures we've had from some other lines recently. All right, we're back, and I figured this would be fun to do a little comparisons at the end of this video, because Sentinel is obviously the biggest Marvel Legends figure ever. To date, Galactus can have him beat, as we know, but as of right now, biggest Marvel Legends figure. And I figured, what other big figures, what other big vehicles does Kyle have in his collection that we can kind of compare the Sentinel to? Just for those wondering, and myself, just how do these stack up to each other? And I figured, why don't we start first with one of my favorite robots of all time. From Transformers, Omega Supreme, one of my all-time favorite Transformers. I love Omega Supreme. Got him right here. You can see him size-wise versus the Sentinel. Put these guys, see how they stack up. He does talk. Listen to this. Love that Omega Supreme. I love that he talks. He hates Devastator. As we all know, he absolutely hates Devastator. But you can see these two, Sentinel towering over Omega Supreme. One of the biggest Transformers ever, and that's Omega Supreme right there. So we got him, and then you put the Sentinel right here. But then how about another Transformer? How about Metroplex? You guys all know Metroplex, the city, of course. I believe he talks as well, if I can reach somehow. So he has some of the functionality of the Sentinel. You can see the light up in the chest, much like the Sentinel does. He does have voices and stuff like that, and I think that is one of the biggest misses with the Sentinel. Obviously, I think for me, it's the biggest miss. I wish this had some voice-activated stuff. I wish instead of just lights, which I love the lights, I think that needs to be there, they should have had some sound going on. We should have heard some things out of the Sentinel. I think that would have really taken it up another notch. We got it with this Omega Supreme. We got it with this Metroplex. Hey, give us with that. But Metroplex right here for some scale. Love Metroplex. I love Fort Max too. I love some of those big Transformers. I'm a big guy. I love big things. You guys know that. Especially hairy bipedal creatures that are big. How about a little G.I. Joe action? Now here's a big one from the Joes. A lot of people don't know about this one. It's a third party from the animated series, third party creation out there of that big Cobra robot back in the day. Very cool. One of my favorite things. I would love a 6-inch version of this. He'd probably be about the size of the Sentinel if that happened, but very cool here. Like I said, this was made by a third party. I don't know if you can still get these on eBay or not. They're pretty hard to get, I think, at this point, but a very, very cool thing, especially if you saw this back in the day when you were a G.I. Joe fan, you really wanted them to make one of these. They never did, so I'm glad a third party stepped in and made this. But you can kind of see that for some size comparisons. So we'll put him to the side down here. We'll put Omega Supreme down here. And now we'll get the big one. I gotta break in. I almost forgot. Of course, I got my Master Mold head on this. I will display Master Mold head on one of these Sentinels. But what does Master Mold need? He needs Sentinels. He needs smaller Sentinels. So that is the perfect use for the old school Marvel Legends Sentinel figures. Here they are for size comparison. Look at that. This scales perfectly. Use these as the Sentinels for Master Mold. That's how I'm going to do that. As we all know, Master Mold is the bigger Sentinel. He is the head honcho Sentinel. These work perfect. Originally, I thought I was going to sell these, but I'm glad I did not. I'm going to use those for that purpose right there. So we got these, and love these because these do talk. So it's very cool these do talk. And then one final comparison, since Haslab's doing a Rancor Haslab funding project right now, how about the Rancor right next to him? This is the 3 3/4 Black Series Rancor. It was a Toys R Us exclusive back in the day. I think also a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. But I love the Rancor. I hope it does get funded. But here's kind of size comparison for one of my biggest Star Wars creatures that is in my collection right now. Big one. Put the Sentinel over here. There's a lot of big plastic going on at the table today. How about this one? One of the things I always wanted as a kid from my Star Wars collection. I never got it, but many years later I got this one, of course. The AT-AT, one of the most famed, I would say one of the most famed vehicles in all of the Star Wars universe. Very, very cool. It's almost like a dog, so you can pull its head up with this. You can do all kinds of stuff. But a very, very sweet vehicle, and something, like I said, I always wanted as a kid. Never got it, but I did get it now, so I'm very happy to have this right here. And you can see how he compares right next to the Sentinel. And very big figures together. Vehicle, figure, robot, whatever you want to call it. But man, I'm here for it. I love this Sentinel. I'm finally happy the 17-month nightmare of a wait is over. Hopefully Galactus, which I did back as well, hopefully Galactus comes on time. Hopefully I get him right away. Fingers crossed we don't have Sentinel Gate Part 2 with Galactus Gate. But Galactus, another one I'm very excited about. I had the old Toy Biz one. Happy to get those Heralds with it. Just going to be really fun once we get Galactus. And of course, when we do the Galactus unboxing on the channel, you know we'll be comparing him to the Sentinel out there. So there it is. The Sentinel is here. We've talked about it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully this was worth the wait. I don't know. I don't know. It depends where you sit there. And as you guys all know, I sit right here at this table. Right here. But you guys tell me in the comments your thoughts on the Sentinel. Did you pick one up? Did you pass? Are you thinking about getting one? Did you just love my misery, my craziness over the last few months, just being in pain, not getting these Sentinels? Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as we're unboxing every Marvel Legend, Star Wars, wrestling, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you name it. We're unboxing a lot of stuff on the channel, so you don't want to miss a video. So make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media, SirPaul64 on Twitter, Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson, and of course, ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson, support the channel. So for my new child, the Sentinel, I am Kyle. I will see you guys all real soon.